I was marginally interested in theater, then they were very interested in theater. So it's like, that's one more thing I could talk to them about if I knew about it. So I learned more so I can have another touch point with my children.
Very nice. Who were some of your writing mentors or influences?
My favorite playwright was Sam Shepard. I love Sam Shepard so much. I've read everything, his prose, his plays, everything. I just gobbled it all up.
Do you have a favorite piece by him?
Everyone Loves Fool for Love.
It's one of his more clean and lean pieces, and that's saying something when you start talking about Shepard for sure.
Right.
So,
And as far as weirder stuff, I like Cowboy Mouth.
Oh, that's a good one too. Killer's Head's also one of my personal favorites. So, anybody else out there enjoys any Shepard, put it in the chat room, and let's see if he's got a favorite that everybody seems to like. Aaron, do you mind telling us a little bit about your inspiration or motivation for writing this particular piece in the 9th grade?
I was watching To Tell the Truth with my daughter late one night, and one of the contestants, her job was, she's an actress who went to funerals and pretended to be a mourner. And I thought that was interesting. And so that night I was thinking about it. And then also it was in the fall, so there were a lot of romantic comedies being rolled out by Hallmark. And so that was that's where I started with, was a person with that job and trying to form a romantic comedy out of it.
Very nice, very nice. And I noticed there's 4 women in the script, and you're a male writer.
Yeah, yeah. Part of it is my daughter's an actress, and most of the plays have, predominantly all male roles, so there are less opportunities. And so I keep that in mind, trying to create more parts for actresses, because there aren't as many. And the first draft of this play, actually, there were 2 male characters who just kind of fell by the wayside because they didn't advance anything. And so I just kind of like the concept of all women.
Very nice, very nice. Did you find it easy to write women? Hard to write women? Did your daughters guide you?
Most of my friends are female. My wife, my daughter, so most of the people I interact with are female. So I think I can write women pretty well, but then I always read it and say, what do you think about that? Would someone actually say that? Usually they say, yeah. Then sometimes they go, and it's okay, then that's gone.
And so just out of curiosity, Aaron, how do you go about your writing process? Do you set a time, a window, and write in the evenings, or do you write when the muse hits? Can you tell us a little bit about your process?
I have little yellow pads all over my house like this. They're all over the place. Every time I have an idea, I'll scribble it down. This entire play is actually written all over my house on little yellow pads that I still run across. And I have one in the car and I have one at work. And then every night, after everyone goes to bed, I write for an hour or 2.
Very nice.
Condense everything that I've written throughout the day. I pull all my notes out and
how long did you work on this particular piece, and how long did it take you from idea to actually putting it on the page where you felt comfortable enough to send it in to the Art Center for the original work series?
I started working on it in October. I had my first draft in about 2 weeks, and then ran through about 3 more drafts, and I was actually working on it up until the deadline. I think I was writing till like 5 o'clock the day it was due. Just tweaking it.
I think luckily we had a midnight deadline, so you still had a little bit of time. You didn't come in right under the wire.
That's right.
So do you have any other plays in the works right now?
Yeah, I have 3 that I'm at different stages on. That's my daughter. So my biggest problem is focus, just working on one. I work some here and move over here and move over here, which is why deadlines are good, because then I put everything aside and say, I'm going to finish this.
So one at a time, sounds like.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a little bit more of a serious question here. And it's something that I've really heard a lot of artists talking about over the course of the last few months, obviously with the way things are. Do you mind talking a little bit about how you might see art changing in the midst of all of this pandemic and social distancing, and where do you see the trajectory of art going in the midst of all the things that are happening right now?
Wow, that is one of the things like that I started thinking about that I'm writing now is you start thinking about, well, what if you can't have 2 people within 6 feet of each other on stage? And then you start, well, then how do you interact and how do they do things? And so it's actually playing a part in how I see things and work things out, is trying to figure out what would you do if we can't do that anymore.
And you were fortunate enough to join us today for one of the rehearsals that we had. What kind of things did you see that were consistent with plays in general, staged readings in a room, as opposed to online? Did you see consistencies? And what differences did you see?
The format and everything was fairly consistent with what I've seen in the past. The only difference is usually when I've seen in the past, because you're in the same room, there is a little more interaction between, because they can actually interact with each other because you're sitting next to them. So there's a little more action with basically physical action, which is a little harder to do when you can't actually see the person because they're not sitting next to you.
How does writing change you as a writer?
You didn't say they're going to be hard questions.
You don't have to overthink them, just off the top of your head.
Yeah. I'd like to think I get better every time. I mean, I see things as I work through things, I'm able to sometimes figure it out so that the next time it goes a little quicker, because I can see pratfalls that I've already fallen in 3 times.
The wonderful theatrical art of 3 that is consistent across for anyone that's involved. So did you do a lot of research for this particular piece? And I had a question because I've already read the script. Are you a practicing magician?
I am an amateur magician. I have lots of magic books. I love stage magic. For my birthday, we went to Las Vegas so I could just go around and watch different stage magic shows. So yeah, I mean, I love magic. There's a bit in the play about the main character being bribed with magic tricks, and that's what we did for my daughter. My daughter, when she was in elementary school, got magic tricks when she got A's.
Very nice, very nice. And really my final question for you tonight is, what are your suggestions to new playwrights or somebody that may want to write a play? Do you have any advice for them or suggestions in terms of how to get started or to stay with it?
Yeah, basically, I mean, my only suggestion is you just have to do it. You have to sit down and try and just power through it, and then don't let yourself get discouraged. That's the hardest part. You know, don't get lost. Just power to the end, and then you can go back and fix. Don't get discouraged if things aren't lining up exactly how you wanted them to. I mean, because like with this one, I skipped 3 scenes. I went from the first 4 to the last 2, and then I came back and put the stuff in the middle because that's what was tripping me up. But I wanted to get to the end. So.
Very nice, very nice. Very nice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time and answering my questions. I was curious, anybody out there, does anybody have a question for Aaron while we're waiting these last few minutes? Would anybody like to ask Aaron a question and see what your thoughts are about the art of playwriting, or anything personal that you'd like to know about Aaron? Feel free to go ahead and type it into the chat there, and I'll go ahead and read it out to him. Aaron, while we're waiting, would you mind doing a little setup for the show itself, and maybe giving us just a little bit of brief synopsis? Maybe tell us a little bit about how you see the characters in the piece, and just maybe kind of lead us into the reading a little bit.
Okay. It's two sisters. Jenna lives with her younger sister Bobby, who's a little bit overbearing. Whereas Jenna has a job where she's a mourner, a professional mourner at weddings, not weddings, funerals. God. Anyways, so she's a professional mourner at funerals, and when she goes there, she pretends to be a relative of the deceased. And at one of these funerals, she meets somebody, and it's her trying to pursue a relationship with somebody who doesn't know who she is, because they basically met under false pretenses. Any more beyond that?
Not at all. I think that's a pretty clean and pretty easy setup there.
In the door.
So we have one question from Sean Gann here. How'd you come across the Fort Worth Community Arts Center play submissions, and what were your thoughts on the project itself?
I saw it on Facebook. And I had this about halfway through, so then it's like, oh, there's a deadline. I can, kind of like I was talking about earlier, it gave me a goal, a reason to get everything done. So, but yeah, because I saw it on the Facebook listing.
Very nice. Do you have other playwright friends, or are you the only playwright you know?
Other than my daughter, I'm the only playwright I know, and my daughter just sent me a message to fix my ponytail. So.
And so she's a writer as well?
Mm-hmm.
Has she completed any plays?
She's done some short plays. When she was in college, she directed and wrote her own stuff. Nice.
Hopefully she'll be submitting for the 2021 selections.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a little friendly family competition to get.
There you go.
Does anybody else have any questions or anything at this point? So Marla would like to know any of the short films that you wrote.
They were in little tiny film festivals. I had a couple plays in a film festival in Oklahoma, and Muskogee, Oklahoma. Showed a couple of my films, but probably nothing you've ever heard of.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference between screenwriting and playwriting? Do you find that there's a difference?
Yes, because when I first started this one, I had a lot more scenes and a lot more settings. It's like, no, those scene changes will kill people. So then I stripped it all down and said, no, 2 settings, that's it. Because I first approached it like I would a screenplay, and I had like 8 settings, and they were going everywhere, and that's not functional. And when I had my daughter read the draft, I go, I know this is not functional. She's like, yeah, I was going to tell you get rid of all that. So.
Marla would like to know also, would we know any of the short films that you wrote, or would you care to give us some of the titles and maybe we can look into them?
One's called Getting to Know You. It was on YouTube for a while. I don't know if it's still there or not. It's basically about a girl who has a crush on a guy, and her friends conspire to kidnap him.
So it looks like you write across the board. You're not just a upbeat, fun love story. You also like the darker material as well?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Cool. All right. Well, Aaron, anything else you'd like to add before we start moving towards the play reading?
I don't think so. I just hope everyone enjoys it. I really had a good time writing, and I had a wonderful time listening to the ladies this afternoon. So,
well, we're very, very glad to have you. Have you been able to look at that chat feature yet?
okay, it's up here in the corner. Yeah.
Whenever I mute your video, if you want to, feel free. And everybody, while we're reading through the show, if you have a comment or something that you'd like to say during the read or ask a question to Aaron, just type it down in the chat there, and we'll see if we can get him to it as well. And we'd love to hear everybody's opinions as we move through. I just want to remind everybody this is to build people up as well, so let's try to stay as positive as we can. And I hope everyone enjoys the show. So Aaron, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop your video, and I'm going to ask the four ladies to come up on the video there so that we can meet and introduce our actresses. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. And again, all the work you put into this over the last couple of days. I really appreciate you taking the time, and couldn't be happier to have such a stellar cast of fine, fine talent right here to take this on. Miss Meagan, if you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what role you're playing as well, and maybe just a brief general bio for us.
Sure, yeah. So, hey guys, my name is Meagan Harris. I will be playing the role of Jenna today. I am a local actor. I do theater and film and television, and I also work at Shakespeare Dallas. I'm the programs and marketing associate as well as an associate producer with them. Love working around town, and it's really a kind of, crazy and exciting to be a part of this digital brave new world here, but I'm excited to keep doing creative stuff even during this time. So very, very excited to do this with you guys.
Very nice. Bear Campbell, would you like to go next?
I knew it was going to be me. Well, hello everyone. I am Bear Campbell. I am an actress, model, creative. I'm also a professional hair and makeup artist, and I just had my business closed down for the foreseeable future. So it's really exciting how art has always been able to bring me back to some grounding point. Like there was a terrible time in my life a couple years ago where I was down and out, and Jason was so kind to let me get back into the theater world. And I think it's really cool how theater has always been there for me. So I've worked a lot with lip service and with Theater 3. I've been out of the game for a while, so it's kind of fun to come back to something digital and a little less committal. It's kind of fun to get your feet wet again into something that's always been there for you.
Nice. And Bear, the character you're playing tonight?
Yes, sorry. I just wanted to get emotional. I will be playing the character Steffi, which is Jenna's love interest. So I'm very excited.
Thank you, Bear. We're glad to have you. Dayna Fries?
Hi, my name is Dayna Fries, and I'll be playing the part of Karen. Thanks, Jason, so much for inviting me to participate. It's nice to get out of bed and commute across the hall to interact with people. Yay, people. I'm an actor and prop designer and sometimes stage manager around town, furloughed during this pandemic. And so it's nice to be able to participate and create. So thank you for having me.
We're very glad to have you. Rachael.
Hi, I'm Rachael, also an actor in DFW. I also I'm also a bartender and a server, so I've also lost work in this. But I am happy to be here. Oh, I'm playing Bobby. I'm happy to be here and get to participate in this, have a little human connection. I was planning on moving to New York to attend Neighborhood Playhouse for a summer intensive, but I don't know if that will happen anymore, at least in the near future. So I will be continuing to, I guess, social distance as much as I can, but thank you for inviting me to do this. And yeah, ready to get it started.
Nice. Okay, folks. Well, I think we're just about ready to get going here. So again, I'm going to ask all the people that were kind enough to join us to make sure that your audio and your video is muted so that we can have the four ladies here on the screen as our main objective here. We will be reading the show straight through. I'll be doing my best to read some of the stage directions and scene setups. So if you guys will please bear with us, now's your last call to go ahead and use the bathroom very quickly. Grab a alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage, pull up a computer screen, and sit down and make yourself comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and I'm going to let the ladies also do what they need to do to get ready. I'm going to give everybody about 2 minutes just to kind of make yourselves comfortable, and we'll get started here in just a bit. So bear with us, and then we'll be right back here in about 2 minutes, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to In the Ninth Grade, I Read Great Expectations by Aaron Settle. Act 1, Scene 1. There is a couch in the center of the room. In front of the couch sits a messy coffee table, and behind it is a table with a purse and a backpack sitting on it. Jenna walks in wearing a dark-colored skirt and sweater. She smooths her clothes out and then sits down on the couch and starts to sort through the stacks of papers that sit on the coffee table. She pauses periodically to jot down notes on a small pad of paper. She is so engrossed in what she's doing that she doesn't notice as Bobby, dressed in fuzzy sleep pants, an oversized t-shirt, and fuzzy animal slippers, walks up behind her.
It's just a tad early to be making so much noise, don't you think?
Jesus Christ, bussing tables at Arby's. Didn't Mom ever tell you not to sneak up on people?
I seriously doubt I could sneak up on anyone dressed like this. Well, anyone who isn't you, anyway.
Jenna glances over her shoulder and is met with a half grin from Bobby. Jenna's scowl melts away as she starts to laugh.
Forgot you weren't wearing your camouflage sleepwear.
Hey, I have brick pattern pants that I can wear in front of a wall, and if I stand still, no one can see me.
1, you don't blend in ever. 2, you can't stand still in front of anything. And 3, standing out is what you do. You can't help it. Sneaking isn't your strong suit.
And yet I just snuck up on you.
So you admit to sneaking up on me.
I admit nothing.
I knew that about you. That and the fact that you have questionable fashion sense.
I'll have you know that comfort is king, or queen, if you please.
I thought cash was king or queen, if you please.
Oh, I do, please.
Bobby walks around the couch and drops next to Jenna. She leans over and starts flipping through the piles on the table.
Also, cash being queen would explain some of your more questionable employment choices.
There's nothing wrong with my job.
Aside the fact that it's creepy.
This creepy job pays for my half of the rent and then half of your half as well.
Bobby bristles at the mention of rent. She bites down hard on her lower lip as she weighs what to say next. After a moment, she continues at a less confrontational pace.
All I'm saying is showing up at a funeral and pretending to know people is strange. You have to admit that, right?
Oh, it's just an acting job that takes place in an immersive environment.
It's lying.
All acting is lying. Playing a mourner is no different than playing a nun, a chorus girl, or a witch. A part is a part, and the prep is the same regardless. I mean, no one complains when they go to Disney World that people are pretending to be princesses.
It's different.
No, it's not. Not fundamentally.
You're lying to people in pain.
No. The people in the most pain are the ones paying me. They want to make sure the people they love are remembered the way they wish them to be remembered. How is that so hard for you to grasp?
I still say it's wrong.
1, I say you're wrong. 2, you're not my moral barometer. 3, Aunt Janet agrees with me.
4, I hate when you list things by number to me like we're trapped in an episode of Sesame Street without the cool puppets. And 5, who the fuck is Aunt Janet? We don't have an Aunt Janet.
You don't have an Aunt Janet. Janie, on the other hand, does. Aunt Janet is my client, and she wants everyone to remember Uncle Carl the way she does. He retired 2 years ago after working for the city his entire adult life. His job was boring, but Carl wasn't boring, not by a long shot. He loved to cook, and Janet hired a local chef to recreate his favorite recipes for the reception, including some kind of bean dip that's supposed to be life-changing. He loved animals and called bats sky puppies. He wanted a tattoo, but was afraid it would hurt. Janet has an appointment to get one next week. They didn't have kids, but they had nieces and nephews and friends, and their friends had kids, and he loved them all. His wife wants everyone to know all of these things without having to worry about having a breakdown. So if she can hire a slightly neurotic actress to smile, work the room, tell a story or two, and remind folks all about her husband, why should it matter if someone sitting in their living room wearing fuzzy sleep pants thinks it's creepy?
An awkward silence settles over the room for a moment.
When you put it like that, I sound like a dick.
It's because you are a dick.
Hey!
But you're my dick.
And changing the subject?
To what?
Anything other than me being your dick.
We can talk about me leaving. A wise man once told me the only funeral one should be late for is their own.
No such thing as a wise man.
Okay. A fortune cookie once told me the only funeral one should be late for is their own.
Better. It was probably a fortune cookie written by a woman.
Jenna pulls a small box out of her sweater pocket and opens it. She tips it upside down and drops a quarter into her palm. She puts the quarter back in the box and closes it before opening it again. This time, when she turns it upside down, nothing falls out.
And the famous magic box makes its regularly scheduled appearance.
Not just for picking up folks in bars anymore.
Does it actually work?
Are you asking me if it's really magic?
No. Does it really help you pick up people in bars?
It works much better with girls than with guys.
And why is that?
Girls are different. They're more willing to embrace the unknown. They're okay with being amazed. They don't need all the answers. A little magic in their life is okay. Guys need to be right. Guys need to prove that you didn't fool them. They have to show that you're not smarter than they are, even if you are in fact smarter than them. At the end of the trick, a girl will clap and be enchanted, and if you're lucky, slide you a look that will melt just a little bit of your soul. A guy will demand you do the trick over and over until they can finally figure out how you did it, at which point they pat themselves on the back and tell you how simple it was to figure it out. Which also melts your soul, but not in a good way. Guess which one I prefer?
So what's the most times in a row you've done a trick?
One.
But you said that you had to do it.
I don't like demands, and I do like secrets, but you knew that.
Bobby smiles as Jenna slides the box back into her sweater pocket, grabs some stuff from the table, and stuffs them into her backpack.
But you do it more than once for me, right?
Jenna smiles, shrugs, and heads to the door.
What are the chances of you being anywhere other than sitting in that exact same spot when I get back?
Who's to say? The world is a wide and glorious place full of joy and adventure.
So 0?
Bobby smiles as she walks out the door and then turns back to the coffee table. Scene 2, later that same day. The room is darker than the last scene. Bobby is sitting in the exact same spot as before, the only difference being a bowl of cereal that now sits in her lap. There is a single knock on the door, followed by a pause and 2 more knocks.
You may enter.
Karen walks into the room. Bobby doesn't turn to look at her.
What brings you by after the sun has gone down? Isn't that against the rules?
I was heading into work and I wanted to swing by and discuss your responsibilities.
I have no responsibilities. It's one of the perks of being irresponsible. Just ask Jenna.
But it is not a perk of being the maid of honor.
Fuck. I knew I was going to regret saying yes. I guess now we'll have something else in common.
Karen ignores her and continues.
First, you need to help me with any planning.
Check. Jenna will help you with any and all planning. She's really good at it. Next.
That is not what I said.
But it's what I heard, and that's all that really matters.
Besides, didn't we already shift our responsibilities to Jenna when it came to helping to pick the ring?
He sold me out. The rat.
He told me you sent him to Jenna to help.
So he sold me out.
Yes, he sold you out. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yes. And now that it's out in the open, we can agree that everyone was happy with the ring, how the ring shopping turned out, right?
Moving on. You need to help me get ready on the day of the ceremony and to keep me calm.
I really suck at keeping people calm. I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a dick.
Everyone knows you're kind of a dick. I mean, except for the kind of part, which leaves us with the bachelorette party.
Oh, for fuck's sake, there's more?
Doesn't have to be much. I mean, whatever you...
Her words trail off as Jenna walks in distracted. She goes to drop her backpack on the table behind the couch, but misses it, and it crashes to the ground. She walks in and drops onto the couch, inadvertently sitting in Karen's lap.
Oh, hi there. And how was your day?
Jenna jumps up embarrassed and moves to the end of the couch.
Sorry.
It's fine. You seem just a little distracted.
It's nothing.
Did something happen at the funeral?
Sort of. It's no big deal. Like, can we please just talk about something else?
Since you've asked so nicely, we can change the subject for now. But be aware that we will be revisiting the events that led you to winding up sitting on Karen's lap while completely sober. And speaking of our girl Karen, she's apparently getting married.
Jenna perks up at the new direction of the conversation.
Show me.
Karen holds out her hand for Jenna to inspect.
Wow, yeah, the boy did surprisingly well.
Don't bother. Rat Boy sold us out.
His name isn't Rat Boy. But yeah, Ryan told me that you were very helpful, Jenna.
What about me? I'm the one who made him call Jenna.
You were helpful too.
No, she wasn't. And really, I didn't do much. I mean, I made him a Pinterest board or 2. Okay, it was 3, but the third one was small.
He showed me.
See? Rat Boy sold us out.
He tells me everything.
I only had to tell him no 2 or 10 times. I'm just glad he finally asked you. He's had that ring for like 4 months.
Wait, what?
Apparently Rat Boy only tells her certain everythings and not everything.
Karen looks at her watch and tries to decide on whether or not to continue bantering with Bobby.
And with that, I must take my leave.
The bar won't tend itself.
Yeah, that check never gets old.
Actually,
You, young lady, need to come see me this week. I can counteract whatever bad advice your sister is about to give you. I'm working every night this week.
will do.
Promise?
Yeah, I promise.
Karen leans down and gets a hug from Jenna before heading out. After Karen leaves, Bobby and Jenna sit in silence for a moment.
So,
So,
are you okay?
why wouldn't I be okay?
You tell me. You're just a tad distracted.
Not really.
You sat on Karen's lap.
Jenna pulls her box out of her sweater pocket and begins to open and close it.
It's just been an odd day is all.
Odd how? Tell me all about it. You have my undivided attention.
Since when do you care about my day or my weird job?
That's not true. My days are just always substantially more interesting than yours.
Oh, and now I'm boring.
No, it has nothing to do with you. I just happen to be an interesting magnet. Shit comes up all the time that interrupts my regularly scheduled cereal consumption. To be honest, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
It's nothing.
Well, if you change your mind, you know where to find me.
I always know where to find you.
And speaking of change, let's change the subject to Karen and that selfish bastard of a fiance of hers.
We like Ryan.
Yes, we do. That's why we helped him pick out the ring.
We?
We're a team.
Of course we are.
Can you please stop interrupting?
So sorry.
You're forgiven. As I was saying, we like Ryan, which is why we helped him find a ring like a year ago. But us liking him does nothing to make all of this less inconvenient. He could have at least consulted me about the timing.
Yeah, you're right. He is a bastard.
Exactly. And to make things worse, guess who the maid of honor is?
Oh, no way. Was she drinking?
Obviously. I mean, she's shown questionable judgment all day.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Are you not listening? Maid of honor is work. You have to plan shit. I hate planning shit.
So I'm planning stuff.
No, probably. Okay, yes. I hope she doesn't expect much for a bachelorette party. How many people can we fit in here?
Oh, you can't be serious.
Bobby ignores her and continues on as if she hasn't spoken.
We have the couch. We can bring in a couple of folding chairs. I mean, how many friends can Karen possibly have?
Probably lots. She's the nicest person we know.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nice people have more friends than not nice people.
Oh, bullshit. They have more people pretending to be their friends. Pretend friends don't rate an invite.
If you say so.
Do you think I can find a cheap stripper on the internet? Like by cheap, I mean inexpensive.
Jenna shakes her head and takes out her box and begins to open and close it.
Okay, enough about me and my tragic life. Let's talk about you for a minute.
Jenna doesn't look up from the box.
I'm fine. The funeral was fine. I met some people, told some stories. Charming as heck. Got paid, met some people. Everything was 100% fine.
Why don't I believe you?
Because you're a distrustful bitch.
Nope. It's probably because you said you met people twice.
No, I only met them once.
Met who?
The people.
Do these people have names?
Jenna doesn't answer. She stares down at her hands as she opens and closes the box.
You're freaking me out. This is not like you.
Jenna closes her eyes and speaks in a harsh whisper.
Steffi. Her name is Steffi.
Bobby claps her hands together and smiles broadly.
Now we're talking. Tell me about this Steffi.
Steffi, mid-20s, walks out on stage, stands in the corner staring straight ahead. Jenna bites down hard on her lower lip.
She's cute. No, that's not even fair. She's more than cute. Her hair bounces when she walks.
On cue, Steffi walks across the stage, her hair bouncing as she moves.
Bouncing hair. Got it. You've always been a sucker for bouncy hair. What else you got?
Oh, her laugh. I only heard it for a second, but it's been echoing through my mind ever since.
Because it's loud and obnoxious.
No, not at all. It's soft and subtle. It starts from the corner of her eyes and then suddenly radiates out, pulling in her smile. And then before you know it, it's filled the entire room.
Steffi emulates the laugh Jenna described. Jenna fights off a noticeable chill. Steffi pauses and smiles over at Jenna before casually walking off the stage.
And about those eyes?
What eyes?
The eyes that launched a wave of laughter upon the world.
What about them?
What color are they?
I have no idea. I only talked to her for a minute, maybe 2. I didn't even notice her eyes.
You sure as hell noticed something.
You're not terribly helpful, you know that, right?
Well, if you honestly don't remember the color of her eyes, you're probably fine. You obsess over people's eyes more than anyone I've ever met. Now, if you said her eyes shined like the sun glimmering through topaz, I would have worried about you. But as it is, you just met a girl with bouncy hair whose laugh fills up a room. I think you'll be fine.
Bobby gets up from the couch and stretches.
What if I did know the color of her eyes?
Oh, then, my dear, I'd say you were probably fucked.
He pats her on the shoulder and walks out of the room.
I'm pretty sure I'm effed either way.
She buries her head in her hands and mutters.
They look like emeralds underwater, for God's sake. I mean, who has eyes that look like emeralds underwater?
Scene 3. 2 days later. Jenna is perched on the couch staring at her phone. The room is dark, and Jenna's face is illuminated by the phone screen. Jenna is engrossed by her phone, and she doesn't notice as Bobby walks up behind her.
What you doing?
Nothing.
It doesn't look like nothing. It looks like your phone is the most interesting thing in the world right now, and since you don't social media for shit, I can only assume you're staring at the phone number of a certain bouncy-haired beauty whom I've heard described as too fucking cute for words.
I never said that.
You're also not the only person to see her.
Well, Karen needs to mind her own business, and so do you.
Well, for the record, Karen also said that she had never seen two people look more perfect together while being so awkward.
Thanks, I guess.
And as for minding my own business, Karen just wants you to be happy. And as for me, I'm just a meddlesome bitch. But you knew that.
For the last time, I'm fine.
If you asked me, I'd tell you that I think you should call her.
Well, then it's a good thing I didn't ask you.
If you didn't ask me, I'd still tell you that you should call her.
And say what? I mean, she doesn't even know my name. She still thinks I'm Janie.
Well, historically speaking, folks have overcome more.
Well, that makes me feel better.
It's not like she's a Capulet or something.
I don't believe she's a Capulet, but we aren't Montagues either.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Not even on Mom's side?
Definitely not on Mom's side.
I've never seen you like this, and I feel like I should be doing something.
You should be doing nothing.
You know I love you, right?
If you say so.
And that I would never do anything to hurt you.
As she speaks, she gets closer and closer to Jenna until she's right over her shoulder.
I don't like where this is going.
Aw, she even put a heart emoji by her name. Or did you do that?
She typed in her name and the number and the heart.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it is.
Please don't hate me.
Before Jenna can respond, Bobby quickly reaches out and touches the phone screen, and then quickly retreats to a safe distance as her sister stares at the phone screen in horror.
What did you do?
I just gave you a push in the right direction. At least I hope it's the right direction. Damn. Please be the right direction. If it's not the right direction, I'm pretty sure I'm sorry.
It's ringing.
That's what happens when you call somebody.
But I didn't call her.
It also is what happens when I call somebody.
Jenny shoves the phone at Bobby.
Make it stop.
That's not how this works. You have to wait for her to answer or you have to hang up.
Steffi walks onto the stage carrying her ringing phone up to her ear.
Hello? Hello?
As Jenna hears her voice, she panics, pushes another button. She then breathes deeply.
There, I hung up. Problem solved.
Steffi stares down at her phone, smiles to herself, pushes a button, and then lifts the phone back up to her ear. Jenna's phone starts to ring. Jenna looks at Bobby, her fear evident.
Why is it doing that?
That's also what it does when someone calls you back.
Why is she calling back?
Probably to find out who the asshole is who called and hung up.
But you're the asshole who called.
The phone continues to ring.
But you're the asshole who hung up.
But I don't want to be the asshole.
Then answer it.
I don't want to answer it.
The phone stops ringing.
Oh, thank God it stopped. Also, I hate you. And also, at least she won't know it was me.
Unless she waited for it to go to voicemail.
Maybe she just hung up.
The phone beeps loudly.
And maybe not, since that was definitely the voicemail notification.
This can't be happening.
Steffi smiles and taps the phone a couple of times. The phone starts to ring.
It's ringing again. Why is it ringing again?
My guess would be that she really wants to talk to you.
What should I do?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say answering it would be a good plan.
Steffi hangs up the phone and redials. Jenna looks relieved as the ringing stops, but it quickly resumes.
She's persistent, isn't she? You might as well answer. I don't think she's going to give up anytime soon.
What do I say?
Start with hi and see where it takes you.
Did I mention I hate you?
You did, but it didn't stop the phone from ringing.
Jenna takes a deep breath and answers the phone.
Hi.
Hey, I'm so glad you finally answered.
I'm glad you called back several times.
I'm just glad that you called at all. It means you're interested.
Even if I hung up?
It also means you're nervous. I'd probably have hung up too.
Really?
If I was a 14-year-old boy. I'm just glad that I get to talk to you.
Bobby slowly starts to drift away from Jenna.
You're welcome.
Jenna covers the phone and whispers.
I still hate you.
Bobby motions towards the phone to remind Jenna of her conversation.
Are you busy? I could call back.
No. I mean, I can talk as long as you want.
You might regret that because I have the feeling I'm going to want to talk for a long time.
What if I'm boring?
Oh, Janie, show a little faith. There's magic in the night.
What?
It's from a song my dad used to sing me. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's cool. So what do you want to talk about?
Everything. Tell me all about Janie. I want to know anything and everything that you want to tell me.
Everything is gonna take a while.
Steffi
I have
sits
all
down on
night.
the stage and makes herself comfortable.
I have all night, or at least until I pass out from exhaustion.
Then I guess I should get comfortable.
Jenna climbs up onto the couch and wedges herself in the corner before grabbing a blanket and pulling it around herself.
Where to start? I guess.
They continue to talk unheard, but obviously enjoying the conversation as the lights slowly grow darker. The lights go down momentarily. When they come back up, both women are asleep. Bobby enters the room and smiles. As Jenna's sleeping form, she pries the cell phone out of her hand and places it on the coffee table. She pulls the blanket up under Jenna's chin and lightly kisses her forehead before turning and slowly patting her way off stage. Act 2, a nearby park. Scene 1. There is a bench in the center of the stage. Jenna is moving around the stage nervously. She is obviously looking for someone. She climbs up on the bench to get a better look, but she soon gives up and hops back to the ground.
Let's meet at the park. Sounds like a great idea at 3 a.m. Then again, lots of plans sound good at 3 a.m. What if we didn't actually make a plan? What if I fell asleep talking and dreamed the whole thing? Okay, I'll give it 2 more minutes, then I'm gone. Who am I trying to fool? I live here now. I'm going to wait all day just in case she shows up. I mean, what if she's still asleep? 10 a.m. is early. What if we said 10 p.m. and I forgot? I mean, I wouldn't agree to meet in a park in the middle of the night, would I? Doesn't sound like me. And yes, I'd meet her in the middle of a sewer if that's where she wanted to meet. Maybe she's in a different part of the park. Maybe I should go check, but what if I go check and she walks here? We could keep walking over the entire park and never run into each other.
I was just asking myself the same thing, only not out loud.
At the sound of her voice, she smiles at the sight of Steffi and then blushes uncontrollably.
Oh, sorry. My internal monologue sometimes morphs into an external monologue.
I think it's cute.
Jenna walks over to Steffi, and the two women have an awkward moment trying to decide how to greet one another before settling for a hug that starts unsure and quickly melts into something more comfortable. After a moment, Jenna reluctantly releases Steffi, taking a step back.
I'm glad you found me. I had no idea how many benches there are in this park. I stopped counting at 22.
I got to 35.
35? Did you walk the entire park?
Twice. I got here early, so I'd have plenty of time to worry about what exactly we agreed to last night. I was half sure I was stuck in a dream.
As dreams go, that's a pretty shitty one.
I've had better.
Steffi smiles wickedly and whispers to her.
About you?
Only a slight blush gives any indication that Jenna heard Steffi's comment.
I got scared because my sister said she had to pry the phone out of my hand after I fell asleep last night.
You have a sister?
Yeah, I probably didn't mention her last night because I still hated her.
But you don't hate her now.
Oh, I hate her all the time, but never for long.
So why'd you hate her this time?
I was trying to work up the nerve to call you, and she reached over and hit dial.
So I should thank her.
Oh, God, no. We don't want to do anything to encourage her. She's already a terror.
Well, at least I know why you hung up on me now. It's good to know that you don't always act like a middle school boy. I mean, you don't, do you?
Not usually.
So tell me about this sister.
She has this endearing thing where she does whatever she thinks is best for me, regardless of whether I agree with it or not.
So I should thank her.
Still no.
Did she teach you to swim by pushing you in?
Actually, she's my younger sister, but don't tell her that.
Can't wait to meet her.
Be careful what you wish for. She's a tad much.
You say that, but it's obvious that she's important to you.
Well, she's my everything. She's my break glass, and nothing will change that.
Break glass?
In case of emergency, break glass.
I still don't get it.
It's like in public buildings. You'll see a glass cabinet, and it has stuff like an axe or a fire hose in it. On the glass, it says, in case of emergency, break glass. Well, Bobby is my glass case. If I'm ever in trouble, all I have to do is call her and let her know. I break the glass and she solves the emergency. She's never failed me, and I doubt she ever will.
That's beautiful. I don't have anyone like that. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Jenna smiles to herself and whispers.
You might have just met her.
What?
Nothing. I talk to myself a lot. It's a thing. I'm a bit of a mess.
I don't think you're a mess at all, Janie.
Jenna winces at the name. There is a silence until Jenna tries to change the subject.
We talked about me all last night. Tell me about you.
I'm pretty much an open book. What you see is what you get. I only really have one rule. Don't lie to me. I'll do anything for my friends as long as they don't lie to me, but we don't need to worry about that. You're not the kind to lie, are you, Janie?
Jenna slips her hand into her sweater pocket and begins to open and close the magical box. Steffi watches her silently, trying to puzzle out what she is doing. Jenna notices and blushes.
Sorry, when I get nervous, I play with this box.
Steffi's about to say something, but thinks better of it and cocks her head to the side instead. Jenna pulls the box out of her pocket and begins a demonstration.
It's just a normal, tiny little box. You open it up and it's empty. You snap it shut and open it again, and hey, look, it's a quarter.
Steffi smiles broadly and starts to count.
So it's magic.
It's a magic trick, and a simple one at that.
Well, I love it. Do you know any more?
Put your hands out, palms up.
Steffi follows her instructions and extends her palm. Jenna turns the box upside down and drops the quarter into Steffi's outstretched hand. Jenna pulls her hand on top of Steffi's, tightly pushing down against her open palm. She locks eyes with Steffi and holds her gaze as she slowly lifts her hand up to reveal the quarter is now gone.
Holy shit.
Jenna puts her finger on Steffi's lips to quiet her, and then slowly lowers her hand back on top of Steffi's. She holds it in place, again, locking eyes with Steffi before slowly lifting her hand and revealing the quarter has returned.
I got one more. Put your hands behind your back and place the quarter in either hand, but don't tell me which.
Steffi nods and smiles as she begins to move the quarter back and forth between her hands.
Now, stretch both hands out in front of you.
Steffi thrusts both arms out in front of her. Jenna nods and slowly reaches out and lightly puts her fingers on Steffi's temple.
I need you to think about which hand the quarter is in. I'm going to pull it out of your mind.
I think you're just making up excuses to touch me.
Jenna smiles as she brushes a stray hair from Steffi's face.
Maybe, or maybe the coin is in your right hand.
Steffi grins broadly as she opens her right hand to reveal the coin.
That was awesome.
Steffi hands the coin back to Jenna, who slips it back in the box before returning the box to her pocket.
That's the first time I've ever been disappointed not to be asked to do a trick a second time.
You don't have to use magic to touch me. You just have to ask.
Jenna looks away embarrassed, and the conversation hits an awkward stop before Steffi changes the subject.
How long have you been doing magic?
Since I was little, my dad used to bribe me with magic tricks in exchange for good grades. When I was 13, I saved up my money and I bought the plans for a disappearing cabinet and then spent 3 months building it on weekends. I used to make Bobby disappear to the delight of the neighborhood. I still have it sitting in the corner of my bedroom.
Time out. You actually have one of those giant boxes in your bedroom?
No, I have a cabinet.
That's so cool. I've never seen one of those disappearing boxes up close.
And you won't, because I have a cabinet.
So that's how it's going to be.
It's what it's called. I don't call your phone a watermelon.
Okay, I guess I see your point. Sort of. I would like to see your cabinet. Is that better?
Our first date, you're already angling to get into my bedroom.
Too fast? I'm really bad at knowing what's too fast and what's too slow and what's too much information, especially that last one. I'm really bad at the last one.
Well, maybe we can hold off on that for a bit. I'm not quite ready for you to disappear.
I'm not going anywhere. Is the cabinet the oldest trick you have?
The box is the first trick I ever got.
You said it was a cabinet.
No, this box.
Jenna pulls out the box back out of her pocket.
It's basically my security blanket at this point. I open and close it when I'm nervous. I've probably made that coin appear 1,000,000 times by now.
You're not opening it now.
I guess I'm not nervous.
Steffi smiles and pauses before speaking again.
What would happen if you opened the box and something other than the quarter was in there?
I guess I'd have to start believing magic was real.
Steffi slowly leans in.
I already do.
They kiss, tentatively at first, but grow more passionate. Scene 2. 3 months later. Bobby and Jenna walk through the park and approach the bench.
So this is where I get off and you keep walking.
So this is the place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The magical first kiss place. The place that inspired the Pinterest board you think I don't know about. That place.
Love you. See you soon. Can't miss you if you don't go away.
Bobby looks around.
I can wait a bit.
Nope. You most certainly cannot. You have somewhere else to be, somewhere far away from here. You're lucky I let you even come this far. Now off with you.
I still don't get why you don't want me to meet her. Are you afraid I'll run her off?
No, there's no running her off. I doubt she'd go away even if I wanted her to.
Then why can't I meet her? Is she afraid of me?
Well, she's not afraid of anything.
So I can stay.
And we're back to nope. We only have like 15 minutes in between our stuff today and won't see each other tomorrow because of work. So I don't want to waste 5 minutes of it on pleasantries.
That's fair, but it's not the only reason, or I would have met her by now. Having doubts?
Not at all. If you want to know the truth, I don't want you to stay because I don't want to risk screwing up something that is pretty much perfect right now. Is that so wrong?
That's all you need to say. But if you don't want to fuck up things, you should consider telling her the truth.
Jenna looks at her for a moment, obviously conflicted.
It's a little too late for that. She said no lying. So I can't go, whoops, I forgot one little lie. The fact that I lied about my name the entire time we've been dating.
Well, it doesn't roll off the tongue. But
nothing. You have to leave. Now, if she shows up before you leave, I'm never going to forgive you.
Yes, you will.
Yes, I will. But in the meantime, I'll be pissed and probably mopey.
Ugh, definitely mopey.
Jenna gives her a quick hug and then shoos her off. Bobby smiles as she walks away.
Tell her I said hi.
As Bobby wanders off, Steffi walks up.
Was that the sister?
No, why would you ask?
Because she was vaguely U-shaped and was not in fact you, or Karen for that matter.
Okay, so maybe it was her.
So when do I get to meet her? Obviously 3 months is not the answer.
You can meet her when you're ready to marry me.
What?
Oh, just kidding. I'm not sure I'm inviting her to our wedding anyway.
When Steffi doesn't say anything, Jenna starts laughing.
I'm just messing with you.
Steffi takes a deep breath.
Of course I'm inviting her to the wedding.
You think you're so funny.
I am so funny, and you're lucky I'm not saving myself till marriage.
If you were, we'd probably be working out the guest list right now.
If we made the guest list today, I'm not sure Bobby would make the cut, so I guess we should wait.
Don't look at me. I haven't met the woman.
You should probably be thanking me for that, but enough about my sister. Let's talk about anything else.
Tell me something I don't know about you that will make perfect sense once I hear it.
I have no idea.
You just don't like sharing.
That's not it.
Not everyone can be an open book like me, but if you're not careful, I'm going to start thinking that you're hiding something.
Jenna eyes her nervously as Steffi laughs.
I'm just kidding. I just want to know everything about you.
In 9th grade, I read Great Expectations.
Wow, what a revelation. You and everyone else. Welcome to English 1.
No. I mean, I read it, like cover to cover read it, not Clip Notes read it, not Spark Notes read it, not even kid in the back who writes people's papers for $10 notes read it. I didn't watch any of the movies. I just read the book cover to cover twice, and I liked it.
So you're the one. I might have to rethink this entire relationship.
I'm serious. Like, I loved how everything that happened actually happened for a reason. We always hear everything happens for a reason, but that's not true. Stuff doesn't happen for a reason. It just happens and you deal with it. So I was enchanted by how everything came together and everyone he met wound up being important to his life. It probably clouded how I've looked at everything since then. I keep waiting for everything to all click together like it did in the book, but so far...
You mean like going to a funeral and seeing a girl standing next to the dip who 2 nights later grabs your cell phone and puts your number in it, complete with the heart emoji, and then winds up being amazing and the love of your life who you want to marry and not invite your sister, all clicking together like that?
Well, it sounds silly when you put it like that.
It's not silly. What's the word you used? Enchanting. Yes, it sounds positively enchanting.
Well, I hate to run, but I'm going to be late. We're still on for tomorrow night, yeah?
Of course.
Jenna gives her a quick kiss and runs in the opposite direction.
Love you.
Steffi watches her run off and then speaks mostly to herself.
Love you too.
Karen walks up behind her, unnoticed.
Aren't you two the cutest ever?
We're kind of sickening, aren't we?
Just a little. You two need to come by. I'm behind the bar all week.
Tomorrow night?
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna swing by after Janie gets off work. I have to go to a funeral in the afternoon, and then we're gonna meet up and head over.
Karen freezes, but says nothing.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I just, I zoned out.
I gotta run. I'll see you tomorrow.
She quickly hugs Karen and then races off stage. Karen stares behind, looking after her.
What's wrong? Hopefully nothing. Probably everything.
Scene 6. The next day. Jenna runs on stage. She stops and sits on the bench, burying her head in her hands. Steffi storms onto the stage.
Janie or Jessica or whatever the hell your name actually is, stop running.
Jenna stands up.
I swear to God, I will tackle you if you stop running.
Jenna looks away, obviously getting ready to run.
Will you please tell me what the hell is going on?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What are you sorry for? Please tell me what's going on.
I'm not Janie, but I never was. I'm an actress who works funerals. So I was Janie for a day, like I was Jessica today. I never see anyone again. We weren't supposed to see each other again. God, I'm sorry.
So you lied.
Well, it wasn't a lie at first, and not really. I didn't mean to mislead you, but I didn't know how to tell you. And then I was afraid to tell you because everything was perfect, and now I ruined it all.
Okay. I just need you to explain everything to me, preferably slowly.
Explaining it won't change anything.
Will you please just talk to me? I want to understand. I need to understand.
There's nothing to understand.
I love you.
No, you love Janie, but I'm not her. I'm Jenna, and Jenna's a liar. You hate liars, so you hate me. It's okay. I hate me too.
Jenna runs away crying and almost crashes into Karen.
What's wrong?
Everything.
She runs off before Karen can ask anything else. Karen turns to Steffi, who looks lost.
Oh no.
Steffi nods and starts to cry.
So you found out?
Steffi nods in between sobs.
And you broke up with her?
No, I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to understand, but she wouldn't talk. She kept saying sorry and ran off. Why did she run off?
I don't know, sweetie.
What am I going to do without her?
Listen to me. You guys are perfect together, and we're going to fix this. I have no idea how, but we're going to fix it. I'll do anything I can for you. You just have to tell me what you need.
I think I need a hug.
I can definitely handle that.
She wraps her arms around Steffi.
I don't know how, but this is going to be okay.
Act 3. Jenna's apartment. Scene 7. 1 month later. Bobby walks in holding a bowl of cereal. She sits down on the couch, but before she can take a bite, Karen's knock can be heard at the door.
You may enter.
Karen walks in quickly.
I only have a minute because I'm on my way to work, but I wanted to stop in and check on Jenna and make sure we're still on for Friday.
Jenna is fine, and why wouldn't we be?
Really?
Really, to which one?
Really to both.
In that case, Jenna is not fine, but she will be. And why wouldn't we be on for Friday? Do you lack faith in my ability to plan an awesome party?
I could answer that, but I don't know that you want me to. But back to Jenna. It's been a month. She really needs to talk to Steffi.
And how do you know what she needs?
Because I know her, and I know Steffi, and I know they need to talk.
All I know is that you need to stay out of it. We've already discussed this multiple times. This is between them, and you are not going to get involved. Is that clear enough?
Karen is about to reply as Jenna walks into the room.
Were you talking about me?
No, of course not. Why would you say that?
Because you were talking, and now you're not. The only thing that changed is I walked in.
We're still talking, just not about you. Okay, we were kind of talking about you. I was asking your sister if you were still going to perform at the party Friday.
Do I have to?
No, of course not.
Yes. Yes, you do.
But I'm so scatterbrained right now. I doubt I could even do the tricks. And what if Steffi showed up? I don't know what I'd do.
Karen mutters under her breath.
She won't be there.
What?
I said she won't be there.
But how could you know?
Yes, Karen. How could you know? Because I'm pretty sure you were told to stay out of this.
Bobby glares at her for a moment. Karen looks back and forth between Jenna and Bobby, anger rising in her by the second.
1, I know because I talk to her. She calls and I answer the phone because that's what you do when you care about people. She doesn't want to make a scene. She just wants to talk to Jenna. Since a bachelorette party, even one as screwed up as this one is likely to be, is not conducive to the type of conversation she wants to have, she won't be attending. And to be clear, I invited her, and if she wanted to be there, she would be there, and both of you would smile and act like the adults you claim to be. And why is that, you might ask? Well, that brings us to point 2. I will continue to talk to her because she is my friend, and I don't bail on my friends when they are going through a hard time. And make no mistake, she is going through just as hard of time as Jenna is. No, no, that's a lie. She's probably going through much worse. Actually, she's definitely going through much worse. 3, and please listen to this one, Jenna, it's really important. The 2 of you are so good together. I mean, together you're dynamite, and I will never stop pulling for you, no matter what anyone tells me. And 4, you, Roberta Jane, have known me long enough that you should be painfully aware that no one ever tells me what to do. Are there any questions? No? Good. And with that, I'll take my leave. I have a bar to attend to.
She stands up and begins to head to the door.
Now that I've had a minute to compose my thoughts on the matter, I have decided that I will see you both on Friday because I have been promised a great bachelorette party with magic performed by someone whom I love and who loves me and who wants me to feel special, and that is what I will be expecting. That is all.
And with that, she walks out the door, only to immediately reopen it.
Love you both.
She closes the door behind her and leaves. Bobby and Jenna look at each other in silence for a moment.
What was that?
That was Karen when she cares about something.
It was scary.
That's Karen.
So I have to go?
Unless you want to deal with Karen.
I'll think about it.
You do that.
They sit in silence for a moment.
It was nice to have someone show a little faith, though.
What did you say?
That it was nice that Karen showed a little faith.
There was magic in the night.
What?
It's from a song. Steffi said it to me the first night we talked to the phone. She quotes songs all the time, especially when she's nervous.
That's obnoxious.
No, not at all. It was enchanting, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Jenna walks out of the room. Scene 8. Later that same week. Bobby sits on the couch, eating cereal as Jenna walks into the room with her head down.
Well, my sister makes a cameo appearance.
Sorry, I haven't felt very social.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really.
Do you want me to let it go?
Please.
Understood.
Jenna eyes her suspiciously.
Really? You're just gonna let it be? That doesn't sound like you.
It's my fault. I made you call her. If not...
Don't you dare try to take any blame for this. You warned me, Karen warned me, everyone warned me about being honest. I was the one who was too scared to risk it, so I wound up losing it. It's all me. And you know what's the worst part? I liked being Janie. I could have been Janie forever and been happy.
It doesn't matter what she called you. You were still you.
See, that's where you're wrong. She looked at Janie in the way that no one has ever looked at Jenna. With Steffi, Janie felt like she could do anything. I've never felt anything like that before. I sure don't feel anything like that now.
But it was still you.
I guess we'll never know.
You could talk to her, you know.
No, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm not going to see her. Every time I close my eyes, all I can see is the hurt in her eyes, and I'm not going to do that to her again.
Again with the eyes.
Jenna almost smiles and then forces it back.
I almost had you.
Almost. Keep trying.
Forever.
Hopefully it won't take that long.
Jenna grabs her purse and heads to the door.
Where are you off to?
I just need to go somewhere where I'm not constantly reminded of her. So anywhere that's not here, or the park, or the restaurant.
Don't forget, we have Karen's party tonight.
You're not really having a party here tonight.
I am really having a party here tonight. And you're really providing the entertainment.
Oh, please, no.
Do you not remember how Karen reacted when you suggested not coming? I mean, if you don't want to do it, you can call Karen and tell her that you're far too busy for her bachelorette party. And also let her know that because of you, I'm having to scour Craigslist for entertainment.
You suck. You know that, right?
But you still love me.
If you say so.
She starts to leave.
See you at 6?
Jenna doesn't respond. Bobby watches Jenna walk out. She picks up her cereal bowl and returns to the couch. There is a knock at the door. It's the same knock Karen has used every time she visits. Bobby does not turn around, but instead makes an elaborate hand gesture.
You may enter.
Steffi cautiously enters the room. She slowly looks around as she moves deeper into the house.
What are you doing just showing up without calling, bitch?
Well, I don't have your phone number and your sister isn't taking my calls.
Bobby jumps at the sound of an unfamiliar voice.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing in my house?
You said come in.
Because you used Karen's knock.
She pauses a moment as realization dawns on her.
Oh, shit. You're her.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Ask me again in 5 minutes.
They stare at each other in awkward silence for a moment.
I told you to stay out of this.
She told me that. She also gave me a message to deliver on the off chance you were to mention it.
And what was that?
She told me to remind you that you are not and have never been the boss of her. And also, me and Jenna are hella cute together.
Bobby rolls her eyes.
I'm gonna need her to remind me why we're friends.
Couldn't tell you. I could tell you why she and I are friends. Because she loves your sister and wants her to be happy, and she thinks that we are—
Oh, dynamite together. Yeah, I heard. And apparently hella cute as well.
Glad it's not a secret.
Jenna isn't here.
I know. I watched her leave.
What? Are you stalking her?
I would if I thought it'd do any good, but no. I figured since she doesn't answer calls or texts, I'd be better off waiting for her to leave.
Waiting for what?
To talk to you.
And why would you want to talk to me?
If I were to go on a limb, I'd say it because you were her sister.
Well, aren't you the clever one?
I tried.
Wouldn't it be easier to just talk to Jenna?
See, it would be, if not for one small problem. She doesn't answer any of my calls or texts.
And that has what to do with me?
Jenna.
You can call her Janie. I don't think she'll mind.
Being that she's not here and all.
Sure. It doesn't matter anyway. All that matters is regardless of what you call her, you haven't answered my question.
She told me you were her break glass.
I don't know what that means.
Like, in case of emergency, break glass.
Still not understanding why you're in my living room.
If she gets in over her head and things are hopeless, she knows she can break the glass and you'll be there to help set things right.
While that may be on brand for me, it doesn't help you at all. If I'm break glass, I'm her break glass, not yours.
Right. And you'll always do what you think is the best thing for her, regardless if anyone else thinks that, including her.
It doesn't sound as nice the way you say it, but yeah, I'm always going to do what's best for her.
Then welcome to Team Steffi, because I am what's best for her. I'm having shirts made.
Just a tad self-confident, aren't we?
I like to describe it as overboard and self-assured.
Did you just quote Nirvana to me?
I do that when I get nervous.
Jenna told me.
She plays with her magic tricks. I quote songs.
Wouldn't it be easier just to not get nervous?
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that.
You may want to keep in mind that you came here asking for my help.
That's fair.
So tell me about my sister.
I'm pretty sure you know everything about your sister.
No, I know almost everything about my sister, But there's one thing that you know and I don't know, and that is what I need you to tell me.
And what would that possibly be?
How you see her.
Steffi bites her lip and takes a deep breath.
This is going to be a little bit complicated.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
Steffi starts to pace. Bobby speaks under her breath.
Jesus Christ, it does bounce when she walks.
What?
Nothing.
She's a lot of things all at once. She has confidence in herself, but not in how others see her. And that allows the most competent woman I've ever met to always second guess herself. It's why when you support her and build her up, she blossoms like a flower in the sun. And I'm afraid that if the support is pulled from her, she'll be lessened, and that's the last thing that I want for her.
I've never heard her described that way before. It's perfect. But what else? How do you see her?
She's confident and shy all at the same time. Her movements are a mixture of self-confidence and timidness. She moves slowly but not scared. Everything she does is measured.
Jenna walks into the stage wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. She takes a few cautious steps before pausing to reevaluate her surroundings.
She's kind and trusting. She actually cares what other people think of her.
That's a character flaw.
No, it's not, and you know it. She only has one flaw, and that's not answering my texts after we have a fight.
Jenna looks at them curiously, anxiously waiting to see what will be said next.
And why do you think that is?
I have no idea. That's why I'm here.
Well, I can't answer that one for you. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to.
Not a lot of help, are you?
That's not my job. My job is to get you to tell me what you see when you look at my sister.
I just told you.
But what else? There's more. I can just tell by looking at you when you talk about her.
Her eyes.
What is up with you women and eyes?
I fall into them every time she smiles. That can't be a bad thing.
We've been talking this long, and that's the first time you've mentioned anything about how she actually looks.
I hadn't noticed. I mean, she's sexy as hell, but I didn't think that you needed to hear that. You asked how I saw her, and that's exactly how I see her.
Jenna smiles and nods to herself as she turns in a circle. She gives one more look toward Bobby and Steffi before she walks off stage more confidently than when she walked on. Bobby watches her leave and then turns her attention to Steffi. She stares at her for a moment, sizing her up.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay, buckle up. It may be a bumpy ride.
What does that mean?
What that means, my newfound friend, is you just broke the glass.
Scene 9. Later that same day. Karen and Bobby sit on the couch, staring at a large magician cabinet standing between them and the television. They both hold glasses of wine.
This is fun.
Shut up.
No, seriously. When I asked you to be my maid of honor, this is exactly the bachelorette party that I had in mind.
Before Bobby can respond, the door opens and Jenna runs in. She drops her backpack by the couch and hurries off stage.
Sorry, so sorry. Give me like 2 minutes.
Well, that was interesting. Hopefully that wasn't what you meant by Jenna providing me entertainment.
Have I mentioned fuck you yet?
I don't believe so.
Then fuck you.
Jenna walks back out holding a couple of items in her hands. She pauses and looks around the room.
2 questions that can be answered in any order you choose. Where are all the people, and why is that out here?
Question 1, this is everyone who showed up. Apparently everyone doubted my ability to throw an awesome party. Question 2, I thought you could make me disappear. I'm afraid Karen's gonna kill me.
We haven't done that trick since I was in high school.
I still remember how it works.
Your ass is a lot bigger than when we used to do it.
My ass is a national treasure. Thank you very much. I'm thinking of making it its own Instagram account, or at the very least, its own hashtag. Bobby's ass has a nice ring to it.
Jenna ignores her and walks over and hugs Karen.
I'm so sorry. I mean, I was afraid this would happen only because I know my sister, but I'm still so sorry.
It's fine. Everyone is meeting at a bar in an hour. I'm just forcing Bobby to go through with this because, well, just because.
So you promise it's all right? You're not upset?
More than all right. You should come with.
I don't know. I haven't been in the celebrating mood lately.
Something changes. You know where to find us.
Jenna nods and starts to leave.
Where do you think you're going?
Well, since you don't need me, I was going back to my room.
Who says we don't need you? You're the entertainment.
I'd feel silly doing magic for just the two of you.
Bobby loves watching you do magic. I love watching you do magic. You love doing magic, and everyone loves it when Bobby is pissed off.
Are you gonna make me say it again?
Okay, but just a few tricks.
Karen claps and sits down on the couch. Bobby drops down next to her and punches her in the arm. Jenna cracks her knuckles.
Do you have a quarter?
Why?
Because the show started and I need a quarter.
Don't you have your own quarter?
Jenna is about to respond when Karen opens her purse, fishes out a quarter. She goes to hand it to Jenna, who shakes her head.
I don't want to touch it. That's your quarter from your purse, so there's no way I could have done anything to it. I need you to stand up and put your hands behind your back.
Karen gleefully complies.
Now, put the quarter in either hand, but don't tell me which. Once you've done so, I need you to bring your arms down to your sides. Now raise them up and hold them directly in front of you.
Karen again complies, as Bobby watches with interest. Jenna walks towards her, places her hand over one of Karen's. She closes her eyes for a moment, and then, when they snap open, she speaks.
Left.
Karen opens her left hand to reveal the quarter. She smiles broadly at Jenna.
Again?
Sure. Do the exact same thing.
Karen follows the exact instructions as before, putting her hands behind her back before thrusting them proudly out in front of her. Jenna again places her hands over Karen's and then smiles.
Karen, your left-handed bias is showing, isn't it?
Karen sheepishly smiles as she opens her left hand to reveal the quarter again.
Okay, one last time. Put it somewhere you think I won't find it this time.
Karen mixes the coin up behind her back again and thrusts her arms out in front of her. Jenna puts her hands over Karen's again, smiles, and then steps back.
Go ahead and open both hands. It's not in there.
Karen looks confused as she opens both of her hands to reveal the coin is gone.
Where is it?
Right here.
She flips the coin to Bobby, who snatches it out of the air and then hands it to Karen. She pulls a Sharpie marker from her pocket and hands it to her.
I need you to put your initials on that coin, or anything that marks it as your coin, so we'll recognize it later.
Can I write Bobby is a bitch?
You could, but you'd have to write really small. It's just a quarter after all.
Karen scribbles something on the coin and hands it to Jenna.
Is that okay?
Jenna reads it and smiles at Karen and then hands it back to her.
It's perfect.
Jenna reaches into her pocket and pulls out her box. She sets it down on the coffee table. All three women kneel around the coffee table to get a better look at the box. Jenna kneels with her back to the magic cabinet as she addresses the other women.
Just an ordinary box. Karen, can you open it?
Karen smiles as she opens the box.
Anything in there?
No.
Okay, drop your coin in.
Karen drops the coin into the box and then looks up at Jenna for instructions. Jenna motions for Karen to close the box.
Now, I need you to blow on the box.
Can I blow on the box?
It's Karen's party. She can choose who blows on the box.
Bobby can do it, as long as I can open the box.
Of course, you can open the box. I don't want to touch it.
Bobby leans over the box and smiles. Karen, as she blows on the box, she then pushes it over to Karen to open. Karen turns the box to face Jenna before she opens it. Jenna eyes her, curious about why she did that. Karen opens the box slowly. Jenna isn't paying close attention as she knows how the trick goes. Then, suddenly, as the box opens, her eyes snap open. She peers closer into the box and then looks over at Bobby, who shrugs, flashes a lopsided grin as the cabinet door slowly begins to open behind Jenna. Steffi walks out of the cabinet and looks nervously at Jenna before speaking.
Jenna?
Jenna slowly stands up to face Steffi.
Janie.
What?
Call me Janie. I want to be Janie.
Girl, I'll call you whatever you want. I just need you to talk to me.
Jenna bites her lower lip and whispers to herself.
Show a little faith.
Jenna jumps up and runs into Steffi's arms.
I don't want to talk.
Jenna quickly kisses her and then pulls back.
I'm sorry.
You say that a lot.
Does she ever?
Don't help.
How? Why? The ring?
The ring doesn't have to mean anything.
But can it?
It can mean anything you want it to.
They kiss again. The kiss continues until they are interrupted by Bobby.
I want it to mean that I threw an awesome bachelorette party.
They all turn to look at her. Bobby smiles and flips Karen's coin into the air as we black out. Ladies and gentlemen, I've unmuted you all. If you would be kind enough to give these wonderful ladies a round of applause. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to bring Aaron back online, and we'll see if we can get him back as well. Aaron, are you still with us there?
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
Nice, Aaron. I'm going to try to bring you back on so we can see you there.
I see him.
Nice. And ladies and gentlemen, if we could have one more round of applause for our author and playwright, Mr. Aaron Settle. Again, I want to thank everybody so much for coming out and trying this. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Since we're all unmuted now, if anybody would like to ask a question of Aaron or any of the actresses, now's your chance.
So how was it doing this whole virtual process together? Author, actors, anybody want to comment on that? Like how'd that work out for y'all? How'd it feel?
I'll tackle that one first if anybody doesn't mind. If I may, I'm very flip because that's my humor in times of anxiety and stress, like I think this whole pandemic situation has been. So for me, the rehearsal process has been amazing because I've been able to talk to people and I've been able to do rehearsals in my underwear. So
Yeah. I will say it's a little weird because I think there is something missing, which is that that exchange of energy, you know, especially in the quieter moments. And I know sometimes in a reading anyways, you sort of miss that element, but it's kind of cool the ways that we have learned to make up for it too. Like adding neat things, like Meagan actually brought the phone out, you know, and like we got to look at each other in the webcam and you sort of got to see how we would look into each other's eyes instead of just us looking into each other's eyes. So there's like a positive and a negative to it that I enjoyed seeing how we compensated, but I still do think I missed that connection.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It was, yeah, it was really interesting just because, you know, I talk with a lot of different people and like, yeah, like finding your eye line and getting, you know, getting that connection with your partner, even if it's just kind of staring at a camera. So it's just, yeah, it's definitely something to get used to.
Yeah, I agree with all of it. So.
Aaron, you made mention earlier today that this was the first time you had heard the piece out of your head. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it's awesome. I loved it. It was really neat.
Does it match? Is it a mismatch? Do pieces and parts match? Or is the whole thing just kind of surreal to hear the voices in your head talking outside of your head?
Some of it matched. Some of the cadence was different just because the individuals are different.
All right, so does anybody else have any final questions? And we'll let everybody get back to real life, I guess.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I just again want to take the time to thank everybody so much. We're going to try this again as we continue to challenge ourselves to find ways to be artistic. I'm just so grateful to all of you for taking the time to invest in this. I'm super excited that we had a few people that came online and read it, and not too bad. I've done shows with less people in the house, so I'm pretty excited that we had a turnout. And so with that, Aaron, any final words for anyone?
No, I don't think so. But thank you, everybody. It was wonderful. It really was. I really appreciate it.
It's a great piece, Aaron. We're very grateful that you took the time to submit it to us. So thank you so much. Ladies, any final words for your audience?
Thank you.
Stay home.
Wash your
Thanks,
hands.
everybody. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude our first online Zoom staged reading of the original work series featuring in the 9th grade, I read Great Expectations. Thank you guys so much. I'll get back to work tomorrow, working on the next piece. I will put this video online at some point, so if you've got some friends that you think might enjoy it, please feel free to share it. I want to say thank you to the Fort Worth Community Arts Center for taking this on. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel now where we're trying to get some of the gallery art inside the building, outside to you. So please follow us and share us. And with that said, everybody have a wonderful night. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. I can't wait to hug you all. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Night.
Bye, everybody.